Viewer discretion advised. This series contains horror scenes that are meant to give you paranoia and keep a lingering feeling that you aren't alone. As you read through the books, make sure you remember that everything has meaning, and it was your choice to keep moving forward. Afraid of the Dark, July 19th. Can you tell me what I'm looking at here? Sheriff Theodore asked Officer Susan. Those are the images of the car crash Officer Tommy's car got into last week, Officer Susan says. And why is any of this important? Because of what we found on the video. Officer Tommy has a camera in his car for security purposes, and when we found it, the audio and visuals were confusing. Look. Susan turns the tablet around and hits play on the video. Tommy panics, gets in his car, and begins driving. He whips back to the passenger seat and then slowly turns to the shotgun. The camera says that at this point the car is going at 80 mph. No, he both died in a car crash. Tommy screams, looking at the wheel. It's a miracle he hasn't crashed yet. This isn't real. Tommy looks straight at the road, eyes wide and full of fear. None of this is real! Tommy screams before the car crashes into the one in front of him. So, the dude was on drugs or something. What's the big deal? Theodore says. It's what comes next, Susan urges. The camera went flying out of the car and ended up in near the front right tire of the other car, facing Tommy's car still. The driver's door begins to shake and comes flying off. Tommy's body is dragged out of the car, but nothing is wrapped around him or touches him. Nothing is even in the doorframe as his body leaves the car and disappears out of frame. Whatever took Tommy's body didn't show up on the camera. It might be related to what Maggie Rogers said it killed her brother. Susan stops the video playing. What exactly did she say about the creature that killed her brother? I saw a man in our house, but we couldn't find him when we went looking. Susan begins reading off a piece of paper, word per word, of what Maggie said. I saw him again, his mouth was foaming, and this time Carlos saw it. He ran up the stairs while Carlos was dragged away and forced to fight it. I saw it again, but this time it was wearing Carlos' skin. I didn't know it until the microwave beeping noise played, and it began to act weird, like its body was trying to explode on itself. I ran into the living room when it jumped on my back. The last thing I remember is it standing over me as my parents got home. That's some stories you got there, but nothing about it not showing on a camera. Sir, with all due respect, people have been mysteriously going missing without a trace. Heather Willingham, then Adam and Elizabeth Spencer, and Tommy's son, Millard Harrington. How much longer can we say that this is a weird coincidence and not consider that Maggie isn't crazy? Where is Maggie Rogers now? Theodore pinches the bridge of his nose and shakes his head. Last I heard, her parents put her in a nearby mental ward about an hour away. What if we give her 48 hours to prove that what she saw is real? If she can prove that, then we can proceed accordingly. Theodore can't believe he is actually saying this. I can get something arranged. She should be here tomorrow morning if everything works out, but we should probably have her in our custody for the time she is out. Why is that? Theodore doesn't like this idea. Since she is supposed to be in a mental ward, it might be better if she is with people that can protect her and help her. I'll be asking the parents if that is okay, obviously. Do what you must, I guess. Theodore leans back and groans. The next day. Hey, you got company, one of the staff says to Maggie before taking her to the meeting room. Maggie Rogers, fancy meeting you here. Theodore is sitting at a table with Susan. Why are you two here? Her eyes show more fire in them than a tiger ready to strike. We need your help with something, Susan says. What's that exactly? It has piqued Maggie's interest, and the fire dies down a little, but it's still there. You helped us find what killed your brother. Maggie burst out laughing. Are you serious? You think that me, Maggie Rogers, will go out there and find out what almost killed me? She laughs hysterically some more. Oh my god, you two must be freaking insane if you think I wanted to see that again. I can barely get any sleep because of it. I'm not sure if you know this, but in the past 3 weeks, people have been going missing, and we think that you might be right, Theodore says. As crazy as it seems, we have reason to believe that your story isn't so crazy anymore, and you seem to be the only survivor of it as of now. My point still stands. I'm not doing it. I've already told you everything I know. What more do you want from me? If your next words are bait, then I might get violent. Maggie scowls and the fire in her eyes returns. She has a lot more fight in her than last time we talked to Chira at the station a few weeks ago. That's not what we were thinking at all, Susan reassures. We were wondering if you could come up with any sort of ideas on what might have happened. I'm 14. What do you want me to do? Look, you can either stay in here and not get sleep but knowing that monster is still out there, or you can come with us for the next 2 days and try to find whatever it is that is killing these people. Theodore is fed up with this child by now, but he is doing his best to try and not sound mad. On one condition, I have something on me at all times to protect myself. You will be with us at all times, Susan reassures. Great. Now let's get out of here. Maggie walks out of the room, followed by the 2 cops. Once outside, Theodore leads the way back to the car, puts Maggie in the back. So, what exactly has happened since I've been gone? As far as now, there have been 4 people missing and 2 people dead. One of them, your brother. Susan goes on to explain. 4 people missing disappeared without a trace, and we don't know why or where they went. Do they have any connection with each other? Heather, Adam, and Millard all went to the same school, just like your brother, but Elizabeth doesn't. We haven't found any kind of pattern or connection outside of this one. They all like different things, work different places, and live different lives. What about age range? Hearing that Millard is missing shocks Maggie. She didn't know the guy much, but she knew that he hung out with Carla sometimes. They're all around your brother's age, 6 or 17. Once again, the whole Elizabeth breaks this by being closer to your age, 13. A fellow officer ended up dying in a car crash, supposedly from the thing that made the others disappear. Maggie is confused now. If there is no pattern between them, nobody has survived but her, and the ages are all different, then what is this thing after? What belief said that this creature can cause people to fall under some sort of hallucination, Theodore chirps in. You have video footage of Philosopher Tommy driving away and screaming at the chairs around him, but they had nothing in it. Wait, what are the times of all this? Like, when does it strike? Maggie asks. We aren't sure if it has struck everyone at the same time, but it was that night in the video, Susan says. Something else we should tell you is that it dragged Tommy's body out of the car, but it never showed on the camera feed. I'll give you the file once we are at the station. The rest of the ride is spent in near silence as they all think about the situation. The car comes to a stop and they are at the station. Come on. Theodore gets out and walks around. He opens the hatch and Maggie walks behind them into the station. They walk into Theodore's office. Here is everything relevant to the case. Susan hands Maggie a file of information on her brother, the other people who went missing, and the picture of the crash. Why do you think it is that it went so far out of its way to go into the woods to get Millard and his dad? Maggie asked, flipping through some stuff. The better question is, what's its motive? Theodore kicks his feet on the desk. Do you have the body of Officer Tommy? No, there was nobody near the site. Susan pulls out a tablet and shows the same video she showed Theodore yesterday. Wherever he was dragged off to hasn't been found. Maggie is horrified and too scared to move other than the shaking in her hands. It takes her a few seconds, then she snaps back to reality, prepared for what comes next. Can you play it back for me? Sure. Susan rewinds it and plays the footage again. Rewind like 10 seconds. Maggie hones in on the tablet and focuses. What's that? Susan turns the tablet around. What's what? Right before the crash, when the tires squeal, the car is filled with black gas as it goes out the window. Maggie explains what she saw. Susan rewinds the video and slows it down. To her surprise, she's right. As the video is slowed down, it can be seen that it fades into the back of the car and out the window. But that isn't what draws Susan's attention. It's the face that is there. Its white eyes look straight at the camera, and its mouth opens wide and in distress. Well, I'll be damned. Theodore is looking over Susan's shoulder. Way to go, kid. Does that mean we did it? Maggie says with hope. Not exactly. We still need to catch this thing. All joy leaves her just as quickly as it enters. But it's a start. Hey, Theodore, I think I know how we might be able to stop it. Susan looks at Theodore. Oh yeah? How's that? The only similarity that we have between this and Maggie's story is one thing. A high-pitched sound. It revealed it in the video, and its body morphed in her story when the microwave went off. Okay, great, but how do we know where it's going to attack next? Maggie interrupts. I'm not sure, but this is more than we had yesterday. Susan is trying her best to make the most of the situation. We still don't know what this thing is or its motive. It can fade through walls for Pete's sake. The least you can do now, Theodore, is be happy that we have made progress, even if it's small. Susan snaps. Watch it. Theodore snaps back. So what's the plan right now? Maggie breaks the tension. Well, I'll clock out soon, and you'll be staying with one of us at all times, Theodore explains. Unless you want to stay at the station, you can come with me. I would rather not stay here. I'm also getting hungry. Okay, we can go get something in an hour when I'm off. Susan is staying here another few hours. 2 hours later, around 1700. Theodore gets ready to leave, and Maggie follows behind him out the door into his car. Sorry if you were bored. Theodore tries to seem sympathetic. Yes, whatever. Maggie has done nothing for the past 2 hours other than look over the same files hundreds of times. Can we get a taco? Does burrito alarm sound good? At this point, I don't care. They go to burrito alarm, get their food, and head back to Theodore's house. It's a small house. It's big enough for a family of 3, but that's about it. There are cameras watching every corner of the house, which isn't a lot. One camera can get an entire room and half of another one. Here's the remote. You can watch something if you want. Theodore hands Maggie the TV remote and the food dish she got. Thanks, I guess. Maggie takes the food first, then the remote. What are you going to be doing? I'll be in my room doing some personal stuff, so unless you need me, don't bother me. Theodore walks to the back of the house and enters his room. He turns on his computer and logs everything he knows about the case now and reviews everything before turning over to a podcast he listens to. 4 hours later, around 2200. Alright, Maggie. Theodore leaves his room. It's time for bed. Where am I sleeping? Maggie isn't exactly happy about this due to her constant nightmares of the creature. You'll be sleeping on the couch. Theodore gets an extra blanket he has for winter and a pillow for Maggie. I'm going to bed. I expect you to do the same. We have a case to crack tomorrow. Theodore goes to the back of his house and into his room. All the lights are off except his desk lamp. He rolls over to turn it off, but hears banging on his bedroom door. What is it now? Theodore gets up and opens the door to a scared Maggie. Can I have a light, please? Maggie's voice is shaking. You're a big girl. You can last one night without a light. You don't understand. I see his face in the dark. I will not be able to sleep if I'm in the dark like that. fine. Stay here. Theodore leaves his room and goes to a closet. He finds an old lantern that barely works, but it works. Theodore turns around and sees the creature that was on the camera, a long smile and cold, white eyes. Its hand lurches out and grabs Theodore by the throat. Theodore slaps his hands around the creature in desperate hope he'll be free. Air escapes his lungs, and before he falls to the ground, he tries calling for Maggie, but no sound comes out. Stop! Maggie screams in a high pitch. Theodore falls to the ground and gasps for air as the creature's body morphs. Its head whips back, and its smile is no longer there, but replaced with something more unnerving. A frown. It feels so disturbing to Maggie. We have something unfinished, the creature says through an unmoving mouth and Carlos' voice. The creature now looks like Carlos and grabs Maggie's throat. His grip tightens and Maggie can feel her vocal cords breaking. If she survives this, then there is no way she will be able to talk. Just when she's about to pass out, Theodore attacks the creature, but his fist goes right through the creature. Its head, and only its head, turns around, looking at Theodore. His face isn't the uncanny smile it was, and it's not even Carlos. It's Tommy. What are you doing, sir? Tommy's voice is remorseful, and Theodore almost feels sorry. Then Maggie's body falls to the ground, her neck as thick as a paper roll. The creature grabs Theodore by the throat once more and shoves him to the wall. As Theodore begins to black out, he speaks. I'm sorry. I doubted you, Theodore says with the last remaining breath of air he has.